Hello and welcome to my channel. So I have made a complete guide for you to go over the frequently asked questions that I keep getting over and over again from all my overseas investors. If you are watching this video, you are probably still in the very early stages of just exploring the market in Dubai and exploring how things work and understanding them, and a bit unsure about where to start. So in this video, I will be walking you through the entire process step by step. From who can buy, what about the taxes situation, payment plans, extra costs, running costs, appreciation, rental income, and so on. Now firstly, let's talk about why people are even coming to Dubai. You must have already heard that there is 0% tax, and that is absolutely true. There is no tax on your personal income. There are some sort of taxes. There is VAT for things that you want to buy. There is corporate tax if you own a company in Dubai, but no tax whatsoever on your personal income, as well as any capital gains tax. This is not a concept here. No property tax, nothing like that. We also have a stable dollar-pegged currency, which is a very attractive thing for people from that side of the world. The rental yields are very high here compared to, let's say, what you would get in London, especially central London, in the UK, in the US. The average rental income here is 6 to 8%, which you can easily achieve in most properties. And yes, you cannot match this in somewhere like the UK because you have so many costs, so many taxes on top of your rental income. Even if you're getting, let's say, gross 10%, at the end of the day, you're actually going to end up getting very little in your hands, which is not the case here. And I've heard this thing so many times from my investors where they just hear the numbers and they feel like, okay, you know what, I can get these numbers in London as well, in Manchester, in wherever. But no, you cannot, because to get those numbers, you are actually putting in way more money than you would in Dubai. So it's all about your percentage of ROI that you have to really look at, not the number of, okay, I'm getting like £10,000 a year from a studio property, which I can easily get in the UK. No, but you're not putting the same amount of money to buy that property. You're spending a lot more. Next, buying a property here is very fast and very easy. The usual timeline to buy a property in Dubai is maximum like a month or maximum 2 months. If you're buying an off-plan property, you can literally finish it up within a day or two. If you're buying a ready property with mortgage, that's when it really takes time. Otherwise, even ready properties can be bought fairly quickly compared to other countries. Low stamp duty fees here. It's just a standard 4% stamp duty, which we call the DLD fee. It will not vary on the basis of how many properties you have or what your age is or blah blah blah. Dubai is also a very investor friendly country. You are not punished here to be a rich person. You are actually rewarded for that. The government pushes you to become rich here, and they want people with a lot of money to be constantly coming to Dubai to boost the economy. So if you have that vision of building a big portfolio, making a lot of money, then Dubai is absolutely the right place for you. Lastly, capital appreciation. Properties here just have so much potential for capital appreciation since the market is still fairly new compared to other countries with history of 100, 200, 300 years. Properties here are maximum 20, 30 years old. RERA is also fairly a new concept. In just these few years' time, Dubai has managed to reach at the top, and still the prices haven't yet reached the level of prices in central London, in New York, in Tokyo, in all the major cities in the world. Dubai is still behind in terms of prices, and it's definitely getting there quite fast as well. So there is a lot of potential for appreciation in general in the city. Now let's jump into the actual questions. The first question I always get is, can foreigners buy in Dubai? Absolutely yes. Anybody can buy a property here. In fact, foreign investments are really appreciated here and really encouraged here. You have plenty of options to choose from. Yes, there are certain areas where you cannot buy, like Jumeirah, like Barsha. These are areas that are reserved just for the GCC nationals. Not everyone can buy, but there is plenty of opportunities for foreigners. Next, freehold versus leasehold. We also do have the concept of leasehold here, which is different from the areas that are reserved only for GCC nationals. That does not mean leasehold. Leasehold would mean that the entire land area belongs to the government or belongs to an entity, which is given to the developer or given to you on a lease basis for, let's say, 99 years. But this is still not a very common concept in Dubai. Not everyone understands it properly. The rules are not really that clear. That's why leasehold properties can be bought at cheaper rates than freehold properties. And generally also, there are just so many freehold opportunities in Dubai that it doesn't make sense for you to go for a leasehold option. Now let's talk about the type of property. So you have two types. You can either buy properties in resale from individual sellers, people who have invested before, now they're flipping, or they are just reselling it, or whatever the reason is. And that comes into your secondary market. And the other option is that you buy something that is off plan, which means under construction. This will be bought directly from the developer. So off plan is what investors usually go for, because you do get cheaper rates of that kind of a property than you would find in the ready market. You also do get payment plans, and you don't have to be physically present in the country as well. You can do everything online in 1 or 2 days. The resale market works a lot differently. You have to be physically present here from day one. You can also pick and choose literally whatever you want, whereas in the ready market, you really have to dig deep. You have to find layouts that you prefer. You have to find options to your liking, and it's very difficult, and it's a very lengthy process. For ready properties or secondary market, you can say, you only have two options, which is to buy with full cash right there and then, or you can buy with the mortgage involving the bank into it. Whereas for off plan, there is no bank involvement. You're getting a payment plan directly from the developer without any interest whatsoever. The payment methods here are, you can do bank transfers, you can pay with your credit card through a payment link, you can even sometimes pay with crypto. Usually your down payment here can be anywhere between 5%, 10% to 20%, which is the normal. Now let's talk about a breakdown of all the costs that you will incur. Like I mentioned, stamp duty of 4%, TLD fee. If you're buying a resale property, there's trustee fees of around 4,200 dirhams. If you're buying an off-plan property, you won't have that fee. Instead, you will have an admin fee for the developer for your paperwork, around the same cost. If you're buying a resale property, you also have to pay 2% agency fee on top. And if you're getting a mortgage, then there is another mortgage progression fee from the trustee office or from the agent. Now for your running costs, you do have service charges, which are charged by the building or by the developer in order to manage the building, the sewage system, the garbage collection, all of these kinds of things. So all your municipality costs and the building costs clubbed into one is your service charges. Usually these charges for buildings are around 15 dirhams per square feet annually, and they are charged either quarterly or half yearly. And for townhouses and villas, it's a lot lesser, only 3 to 4 dirhams per square feet on average. You will get more capital appreciation if you've invested in the right project rather than the cheapest project. And this is where a lot of people make this mistake. Obviously, it's still better than not being in the market at all. But if you do have the budget, don't be, as an investor, you shouldn't look at how many bedrooms you're getting or how much size you're getting. It's more about what you're getting. Off plan is obviously lesser price, that's why you get in there when it's under construction. If you go and look for the same kind of property in the ready market, it will be always a lot more expensive. One more thing I'd like to go over is, if you get a good feeling about something, just don't make the mistake of delaying, because delaying is something you cannot afford to do in Dubai. The market is very fast. Things will not last here. Sometimes my investors will select a property while they're in their home country and tell me that they will just travel, they will just come down here and then book it physically. But even in that 1 week period, sometimes they miss out on their opportunities, and it's just not a good thing for anyone, because you've spent time in understanding the market, you've spent time in finding the right option for you. If you are not quick with it, you will lose that opportunity. Now, depending on what your plan is, what your priorities are, The projects that are suitable to you will be different from what's suitable to someone else, as there is no one investment which is right for everyone. I cannot tell you this is the best investment in Dubai that you should go for, because your criteria may not match with that. So it's really important that you speak to a consultant, hopefully me, and discuss what is it that you want, so they can help you find that option and help you guide through it. So that's all for my video. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any more questions, you can always reach out to me directly or comment down below, and I can maybe make another video on it.